Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Craig Guarente. I'm the founder and president of Palisade Compliance, and I want to thank everybody for your time today and for joining us on this session and to talk about third-party support and specifically Support Revolution. And Mark Smith, founder and CEO of Support Revolution, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Craig. I'm delighted to be here.
I love the fact that you have your black picture in the back, and we're sort of like in alignment here. So
Yeah,
that was good. And this is our second webinar, second or third webinar we've done with Support Revolution. So obviously, what you guys are doing is striking a chord with Oracle customers out there. So I'm excited to talk a little bit more about what you guys are seeing in the market and sort of what customers are doing. So again, thanks for your time today.
thank you, Craig, and thanks very much for inviting us along. And we always enjoy these sessions.
Yeah, so why don't we, for those folks who may not be familiar with Support Revolution and what you guys do, why don't you, give yourself a little intro, a little boost here, and what is Support Revolution doing these days?
Sure. So, Support Revolution, obviously replaces Oracle and SAP in the support cycle. So, and saves customers lots of money on the way. We guarantee to save a minimum of 50% and right up to 90%. So a little bit about us. We've been around for 25 years now. So we started in 1998. We're an Oracle partner for many, many years, doing implementations, upgrades, managed services, all those good things. And I think what it was over the years, and particularly around about the sort of credit crunch sort of time, if you can cast your mind back to then, sort of 2008, 9, 10, those and the years after, we just noticed that customers were stopping doing upgrades because they would put them off and put them off and put them off. And eventually they sort of thought to themselves, well, what would we get from this upgrade if we did it anyway? So around about that time, we thought, well, the future of this is providing an alternative to customers so they can get off that hamster wheel of upgrades. And so we founded the Support Revolution business in 2012, and then we've been going strong ever since. So now it's pretty much all we do is third-party support and managed services and stuff like that. So it's much better for us. We enjoy it a lot more. We're helping customers. We're not forcing them to upgrade. We're helping them save money and helping them divert that money onto more important things like innovation and their own business rather than just upgrading the old software that they've got. So that's us in a nutshell.
Excellent. Yeah, and we definitely noticed, being in our niche space, when we're doing audits and compliance work for customers, the software that Oracle customers are running it's older, right? It's 5, 6, 7, 8 years old.
Sure.
Very rarely, I mean, you'll have a customer with 1,000 implementations. Some of them will be on the latest and greatest, but most of them are older, I would say older software. And, those versions of, and we'll focus on Oracle. I know you do more than that, but they're not even getting the premier support from Oracle. So they're paying more and more and then getting extended and sustaining support and sort of getting less and less. So I would think, I know on our side, I posted this the other day, maybe it was yesterday. When we started Palisade in 2011, the number one issue customers came to us was, my support is too high, help me reduce it. And today, it's still the number one issue. It's the same thing that customers were talking about 10, 15 years ago. Oracle support's not getting cheaper. I guess I'll put it that way.
No, absolutely. And I think these days, last 2 years, they've increased the prices 8% each year. And as the bank rates are coming down, the oil prices are coming down, the petrol price is coming down, but Oracle's annual increases aren't coming down. So I think the way these Oracle estates evolve is quite interesting. You have a massive set of different versions of Oracle software because the Oracle mandate that you upgrade them, but a lot of customers run software from other vendors. It might be an application on top of an Oracle system, and that vendor doesn't allow you to upgrade to the latest version of the Oracle database because its software doesn't work with it. So you end up in a situation where you're paying Oracle for support, but the software's out of support and you can't get out of it. And as your estate gets bigger and bigger, you've got such a mess of old software that's not supported, but you can't stop paying Oracle. So something's got to change, really.
But you can stop paying Oracle.
Well, you can now, yeah, indeed you can. Yeah.
You can now. You will help customers do that. So thanks for that background. Now I know we have a few 2 poll questions that we have for the audience, and I love to sort of lead with the poll questions. And I know that folks have also sent us questions uh, in the before when they registered. So we'll go through those questions, and if anybody has anything as Mark and I talk, please put it in the QA. So first one today is, why are you considering moving to third-party support? And I think you mentioned, reducing costs, but there's probably a few more reasons why customers uh, move to you and stay with you. So for those folks on the phone, if you want to just answer that, we'll give that another minute. Mark, what's your guess? What's going to be besides reduced costs? What's going to be number one here?
I think probably the last one, moving off legacy systems and reinvest savings into new implementations. I think everybody's, moving to the cloud. Well, most customers are moving new systems to the cloud, or relatively new systems, because the cloud migrations these days are fairly straightforward. But of course, licensing sometimes doesn't allow you to do that. So that's going to be another hot topic, I think.
Awesome. All right, Marissa, what do we have there?
Yeah.
Look at that. You got it. You got it 100%. So obviously reducing costs, I think, are um, that's probably why people call you, right? That's sort of the straw that broke the camel's
Sure.
back.
Yeah. Absolutely, that's the sort of the hook that gets them interested, and but absolutely, I think the other major thing at the bottom, when moving off legacy systems, it's about getting back in control of your estate. I think people over the years have realised with third-party support that they don't have to do these upgrades that the manufacturer tells them to do anymore. And going back to that point of 2008, 9, 10, when people stopped looking at doing that. And people are questioning, there's so many alternatives now, isn't there, that you can move to different database, PostgreSQL. You can move your whole workloads to different systems where the vendor is happy for your business and they're not going to come after you for massive support costs. And you can then move to those things to the cloud as well, and release those savings. So I think it's very rare, isn't it, Craig? I think to find a genuine business case these days where certainly I was involved in trying to find business cases for Oracle upgrades for many, many years. And over 20, 25 years, I've never seen a single business case which says, if we upgrade to this new version, we'll get all these great things and our lives will be better and we'll save money. But moving to third-party support, there's a clear benefit that you are definitely going to save some money, and you're definitely going to be able to spend that somewhere else.
And I think sometimes we forget the costs of migrating or upgrading, even our little Palisade world. I was using one of our applications the other day. It's a SaaS application, and it said there's a little button. Do you want to change your view to the new version of this application? I was like, oh, I like new stuff, so let me hit the button, and everything looked different. And I was like, I'm going to spend hours trying to figure out where everything is. So let
Yeah.
me, it was easy because it was SaaS. I just hit the button and went back to the old view. I'll just stick with the old view for now. This is working just fine. I don't need to hit that upgrade button. But I have seen where customers, it's interesting because they've moved to third-party support with the intent of we're decommissioning this legacy Oracle thing, and we're moving to this other new application. So rather than giving Oracle money for maintenance while we upgrade, we're just going to move to third-party support, take that savings. And what I've seen, and more than once, is once they're on third-party support, they're like, hey, this works. It's much less. I don't even have to upgrade now. I'm not going to go to that new system. I'm going to keep this legacy thing working because it's good. It's fine. It's been there for 20, 30 years, and we'll ride this as long as we can.
Yeah, sure. And you got to remember, I think that's the important thing with these cloud systems these days. By the time, something like Salesforce, or you get a new version and it works. Whereas these old Oracle systems, the upgrade isn't just you turn up one day and it's all working. The upgrade's a project in itself, and kind of like the Forth Road Bridge, isn't it? You're constantly upgrading your software, and by the time you get to the end of it, painting the Forth Road Bridge in the UK, for people who don't know the analogy, the idea is it's such a large bridge that by the time you finish painting it, you've got to go back to the other end and start again. And that's what the kind of Oracle upgrades are like. It's not the sort of easy cloud switch to the new version. It's it's a very complicated and involved project. And I think the other important thing we've seen of late is we've seen some very, very big companies move away from Oracle support. Global companies with thousands of systems, and I think one of them had ridiculous. It was tens of thousands of systems. But basically, these companies had made the decision that that was it. They'd had enough of this constant upgrade cycle, and they made the decision at the strategic level. And then there was no more questions about whether it was going to be an advantageous thing to do. Everybody got in line. It took them a year or two to do it because they were so big, but they've moved to third-party support now, and we're seeing some really big global companies just decide that they're going to change the strategy. The Oracle strategy is maybe too old for them now. They want to take advantage of all the new things that are out there, the cloud, the different databases, the different third-party applications. So, we've seen it now where the really big global organizations are taking that leap.
We've definitely noticed that over the last few years, whereas, in 2011, when it was just me and a website, I didn't know that much about third-party support. I only knew what I knew from my Oracle days, right? And it was bad, bad. You didn't want to, I had to be educated on why it wasn't like that. And you know, 10 years ago, the really big Fortune whatever companies, they're like, we're never doing that. We're never doing that. And now, like you said, they are doing it, right? And there's a team,
Sure,
and sometimes it takes a while, right, to make that journey, to
sure.
put yourself in a position. You want to make sure you're in compliance. You want to make sure there's nothing Oracle can do to you once you make that move. So they'll follow a certain roadmap there. But the biggest of the biggest companies are moving and or evaluating moving, and it's usually there's an executive or two, whoever writes the check at the company is like,
Yeah.
I don't care what you say, we are making this move, and let's make this happen. So definitely you need a champion on that side, but I've seen it across industries and geographies, and now up to the largest firms, so, which is an interesting transition from 10 years ago where they were just like, we're not even looking at this, doesn't make sense for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you mentioned it there, Craig. When it's driven from the top, it works, and people just kind of do it. And a few years ago, we would notice people would want to do a proof of concept and things like that, and it never works, that type of thing, because you're asking sort of technical consultants to evaluate a service, and of course it's going to be similar, but they really, once you drive it from the top and you say no, it's got to be done, then everybody falls in line. And so that's what we see a lot these days, is that organizations are making the decisions at the top level and saying just get on with it. And some really big companies doing it.
Right, right. So are you seeing any places, um, industries or geographies or, types of companies where it's really taking off? Like where's the most traction?
But interestingly, and I think the financial services and banks, there's a lot of those types of organisations that are moving, and I think the part of the reason there is they've implemented so many systems themselves. Back in the day, you had the decision. I mean, certainly when I started 25 years ago, you would be an Oracle house, and then all your systems would be built on Oracle, and you didn't go back and change the decision because you had a team of Oracle people, and that's what you were going to do. And you'd sign up for your ULA and get all the licenses you wanted for forever. And I think now a lot of the financial services and banking industry customers are seeing that they've got wall-to-wall Oracle, and they're really not getting the benefit from it anymore. So certainly, we talked earlier about some of the global organizations, and one of those was a large global bank that we were working with. So the financial services and banking, definitely, and a lot of manufacturing, a lot of telcos, really anybody that's under a lot of pressure. So public sector of actually getting much faster at moving to third-party support, we've noticed, because there's price pressure. So it's largely going back to the poll earlier in the session, that people come into it making those savings, and then they start to realize there's other savings they can make. If they move their second line support away from the current partner to us, or then they can make more savings. So I think it's certainly across many geographies and many industries. There's no one particular country we'd say was any bit more aggressive than others, but certainly whoever wants to save that money and get away from that constant upgrade cycle. So it's across many industries.
Excellent. And just a reminder, for folks, if they have any questions, please put them in the QA button there. and we'll address them. And some have already been submitted. So, um, if you don't mind, can we go through some of these questions?
Sure.
Let's see. I think you touched on this a little bit, but I think in your industry, it's important that we talk about it. How is the business relationship between Oracle and Support Revolution? Is Support Revolution a certified support entity for Oracle application and infrastructure?
Well, interesting, because obviously we were an Oracle partner for until 2019, and we at that point we released the partnership because we wanted to be truly independent. Because so we talked about, we were an Oracle partner for many years, and then this really took over and is our future. So we're obviously a competitor of Oracle, so we're never going to be now get a tick in the box and be certified by them. But we worked with them for 25 years doing implementations, upgrades, selling software, supporting software. We know how they work. We know how to work with them. So the important thing for us is we recognize a lot of customers still want an ongoing relationship with Oracle, because you might want to move some systems to an Oracle cloud, and you might want to keep some others away from Oracle support. So we very much, still work with Oracle, and we have customers that go to Oracle for the latest upgrade, come back to us, and then go back to Oracle a few years later. And you can do that these days. There's a lot of by moving to third-party support, you wrestle back control of your future basically, and you can then decide what you have with Oracle and what you don't have with Oracle. And we have the relationship with them on all sorts of levels to move systems into their cloud, away from their cloud. But so it's really getting that relationship back under the control of the customer. So no, we're not certified by them, but yes, we do work with them, and yes, they know who we are, and we haven't had any fallings out. So
Very interesting to hear that, from our perspective, we're not an Oracle partner. Although I think you proactively gave up your Oracle partnership. Whereas when I started Palisade, we actually signed up whatever the lowest level Oracle partnership was, and they kicked us out. It was like 6 months later. They're like, you need to do everything we want you to do and sell more Oracle if you want to be an Oracle partner, which I totally get, right? It was a blessing for us because it sort of released us from the shackles of having to deal with Oracle and really focus on our clients. So this idea of being, certified by Oracle, we're not either in terms of licensing, right? We're just
yeah,
experts in the field. Okay, so we have a few questions on, and I can address some of these. There's actually two questions on Oracle ULAs. So how do we cut expensive Oracle support after ULA? And then the other one was Oracle almost never reduces costs of their support contracts. How can organizations that may have ULAs reduce their Oracle support costs? So I think this is where you and I, our firms, sort of work really well together. When you have an unlimited license agreement from Oracle, you're stuck, right? You're stuck in fixed cost for support, and then there is a period at the end where you either have to renew it or certify it, exit it, renegotiate it. So the costs of Oracle support, if you stay in the ULA model, only go up. They go up every
yeah,
3 years or every 4 years, however often you are uh, negotiating the term of those agreements. But what we've seen, again, any size company, but particularly those that have ULAs, is if you can take ownership of the management of that ULA, maximize your deployments and get out of the ULA. So you have a
yeah,
3-year ULA, you certify out of it. So you certify, you take as many licenses as you're allowed to under those agreements. Then you do your license optimization and your transformations and sort of your consolidations. So you avoid having to buy more Oracle, stay in compliance, and then you're moving to third-party support. You're moving to Support Revolution. So now you can take that, $10 million a year Oracle bill and cut it in half. So Oracle wants to go from 10 to 20, and you want to go from 10 to 5 or lower. That's where we've seen sort of this relationship with Support Revolution and Palisade, I think, really take off, is helping customers, because it's both sides, right? You need the license management, the contract management, to stay in compliance, to certify well, to give you an opportunity then to move to Support Revolution. And I think that's where you guys we hand you the baton with the client, and then, you take it from there, and then that's where you can drive savings. But there's really two steps in that process.
Yeah, and I think it's really important for customers that have any fear of Oracle licensing and what Oracle might do. Having yourselves at Palisade in the mix just gives them total reassurance that you're going to tell them what Oracle's tactics are going to likely to be and what they'll do in certain situations, how to do it properly, and so that gives the customers the reassurance. And then if they do, if and when they come to us, the other thing that we give them over time, of course, is we're very flexible on the costing model. So if you come to us and you've certified out and you say, well, we're actually not using 10 of these 50 systems, we won't charge you for those 10. And if you then say, well, I'm going to retire another 20 in the next 2 years, we'll reduce our charges as and when you sort of retire them. So it allows you to make further savings, because we're not here to try and lock you into a price for the number of X years. We're here to help you on your journey. So if you go into a cloud, if you're retiring systems, if you're most customers keep a number of legacy systems because hey, they're a few years old, but they still meet their needs, and they've spent so many millions customizing them that they really don't want to do that again. And but by having a flexible model, if you take your usage down, then we can take the charges down. So I think it's the modern world, isn't it? God knows why other bigger suppliers like Oracle, if Oracle turn around and say, well, we'll charge you less, then we'd be in trouble, I think. But we're quite confident that's not going to happen. So.
People have asked me over the years, what's the biggest risk to your business? And I just say, Oracle's nice to their customers.
Yeah.
That's probably, to change these business practices, get rid of support repricing, matching support,
Yeah.
cost increases, all of that stuff, which is highly profitable for them. On the one hand, you look at that and you go, boy, that's not the best way to treat your clients. On the other hand, you go, boy, they make a lot of money that way. I wish I could do that, but
Yeah,
but I can't.
absolutely. And I don't, I think if I a very similar belief. I think if Oracle had truly innovated, if they'd have been in the cloud as early as Amazon and Microsoft and Google, then they would have more share of the cloud. And and if they'd provided new software version, invested heavily, then there would be no reason for us. But they haven't done that. So customers are sort of saying, well, what am I paying for? Where's my return on investment for an extra 8% next year? Why am I paying millions and millions? And why don't I look for what else is out there? So absolutely, the biggest danger would be Oracle being nice and investing in its innovation.
And so maybe this is a good point, Marissa, to put up the second poll question. We can talk about how customers are managing. So, are you in compliance with your Oracle database and Java licensing? Yes, no, I don't know, and I'd rather not say. Um, I think that our experience says almost every client is out of compliance in some way. So they're um, and 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 obviously customers come to us when they have a problem or suspect they have a problem. So we're not getting the happy Oracle customer who feels they're getting value for money, and we're getting sort of a different breed. But for me, this is the first step. As you're making that journey to third-party support, you need to stay in control of your Oracle agreements, right? Because the worst thing is, hey, you found this great solution, you've got Support Revolution, they're providing great support, Oracle audits you. Although we don't see that, we don't see any. The interesting thing is, one of the questions we have is, will Oracle audit me? And honestly, we don't see any difference, plus or minus, for customers who have moved to Support Revolution in terms of Oracle audit activity. So I think it's a non-issue. But what do we have, Marissa? What 50%? You're all wrong. I'm telling you. You've had problems. You don't even know it. Um, I shouldn't say that. I'm just teasing. You can take that off. So we've got half that think they are, and then half that either say no or I don't know. So it's an interesting mix. If half of the folks on this call are in compliance, again, we've been doing it for 12 or 13 years. You will There's more people who say they're in compliance on this call than we've seen in 13 years. So that's interesting. And I think there's some probably reliance on tools. And we have a tool that's certified by Oracle, and but it's really not.
Mm.
So I think that's good for you. I think Mark, in terms of those are the kinds of clients you want, those that are sure of their position, with Oracle so that they can be confident in their move towards your products. Because when you're unsure with Oracle, you're going to be unsure with taking a step away from them.
Absolutely, and I think, Craig, this is where you can really help. And I've just put it into perspective. I mean, I've been in the Oracle industry for 25 years, and I understand the licensing to a certain point, but I still wouldn't say that I understand it anywhere near as much as you do. And I think if I can't understand it after 25 years of doing just Oracle, what chance have the customers got? So I really do think that it's very valuable for people to understand their licensing position. I completely agree with you about the tools. There's some tools out there that can license and keep track of your Oracle database and technology, some of the basic stuff, the standard edition database, the enterprise edition database. But the wider you get and the more you get into the applications, the less accurate the tools are. And I don't think there's any tool out there, for instance, that you could run over your e-business suite estate or your PeopleSoft, JD Edwards, all those products, and it come out with the right answer. And to be honest, I don't think the auditors from Oracle come out with the right answer a lot of the time, because for people that haven't ever been through an audit, they take a position and they don't ever guarantee that whatever they're telling you is the right audit position. They're saying this is what is our findings, and I'm sure you've come across that a lot, where the auditors are coming back with findings which you don't agree with, Craig.
Every time,
Yeah.
every single time. And there's one in particular that I'm personally involved with that started for us. It started last year. For the client, it started the year before. And Oracle came back with the Oracle audit team. Just came back and said, "You're out of compliance. You're using these 10 products you don't have licenses for. You're out of compliance." So they hired us at that point. They had gone through the whole process with Oracle. Right now, they have a multi-million-dollar finding from Oracle. So 8 of the products we actually found the customer did have licenses for. So they had a ULA. They have it like, why are you auditing this customer? They have a ULA. So immediately 80% of the findings went away. Then there's 2 products left. So we reviewed what Oracle did, and we're like, we don't see any usage of this product. And
Mm.
Oracle said, fine, we'll take that off. That leaves 1 product left. And sort of we're in that space now where we're uh, determining how many licenses do you need for the 1 remaining product? We disagree with Oracle. So I think there's, a lot of this compliance is art and science mixed together. And you're going to get Oracle auditors and Oracle partners who like to paint pictures that are very favorable to Oracle. And we really just focus on the agreements. When we do an audit, we're trying to come up with the ultimate truth. When
Yeah.
Oracle does an audit, they're trying to come up with leverage to get you to buy more Oracle. It's just, and that's fine as long as you know that that's what's happening, right? If you know that's the game, then and that's how Oracle plays it, then you'll be fine. And those are the customers who, whether it's third-party support or non-Oracle Cloud or different versions of Java, when they're moving away from an Oracle product or solution, those are the ones that say really be sure of your compliance position as you're making that transition, because the last thing you want to do is to be pulled back because of a software asset management mistake. Um, but like I said before, the other part of this, I think, with you guys is Oracle actually uses their support program to help their audits. So they know what you're calling on and sort of what you're downloading. And we definitely see that in the Java world. So people ask me, am I at risk if I move to third-party support? Is Oracle going to audit me? I say no. And I think you're better protected because now you're not sharing information with Oracle all the time. And you're just sort of working with an independent firm who's looking to help you in that environment. You still need to be in compliance. This doesn't mean we can hide stuff from Oracle, but Oracle can't use all that information and make assumptions. Oh, you downloaded this thing. You must be out of compliance, right? So that's not happening when customers work with you.
No, absolutely. And the other thing, whilst we're not experts, we've been doing this for 25 years, as I said before, but so we can help organizations to look at their Oracle estate and say, actually, why have you got all that deployed in that way? If you deployed it slightly differently, you could get away from all these license positions that you've got. And so that's when obviously we refer them on to yourselves for the expert advice, but if we get involved with customers and we see them deploying things in a strange way, we do obviously try and help them sort of reorganize that. And that was part of the reason that we wanted to move away from Oracle. We didn't really want to have anybody in the background thinking that we were working for Oracle, because we never were. The Oracle partner network is a strange community, where some of the partners, like you said earlier, actually, if you ask them for advice, they will tell Oracle, and they will, you'll be in a license compliance audit. So you need to tread carefully in and around who you use, but truly independent specialists like yourself, Craig, obviously the guys can depend on. So yeah, but just tread carefully if you're getting anybody with an Oracle badge on their website.
Uh, for sure. And to the point where some firms appear independent, but they're owned by an Oracle partner. So you really need to, when you're looking for advice and guidance, you really need to follow the money
Yeah.
in terms of how do these firms make money and who sponsors them. Um, but one of the questions that has come up, and we talked a little bit about it, is um, Java. So it's the first question we got in the chat today. So Mark, why don't you talk a little bit about how you guys, or do you guys support Oracle Java? How does that work?
Yeah, we do. If we're supporting somebody's Oracle estate, all the Oracle software that they've got, or part of the Oracle software they've got, then we will support Java running on those systems. So any issues that they encounter, we can help with those. Obviously, we can't get updates to Java, but there are also other alternatives, and I know there's a couple of flavors of Oracle Java that customers need to be aware of. But there are also other Java tools out there in the wild. So. But yes, we absolutely support Java if it's part of the Oracle stack, and we're supporting the Oracle stack. So, Craig, I know you're more of an expert on Java than me, though.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work with Java these days. Oracle, just for background, Oracle did change the rules around Java about a year ago now, last January, where they used to license named users processors just like they do the database. Now they're saying under certain circumstances, if you're using Oracle Java, you need a license for everyone in your enterprise. So if you have 30,000 employees and two people are using it, you need 30,000 licenses. So it was a major shift, and 90+% of our clients who had the old model, if they are out of compliance, they would end up spending a lot more on the new model. There've been a couple of instances where it's actually the changes worked for the client's benefit, but it's mostly 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 times increase in what you're paying, especially if you're paying nothing. Um, so, the challenge for clients here is to understand what the exposure is, how much paid Oracle Java is going to be used. So again, we help with all that, detecting all the different flavors of Java and what is licensable Java, not just Java's running there, but is this something that needs a license? And then figuring out what to do from there. Do we go pay Oracle? Do we move off of it? Do we find something else? Um, Customers have options there, and we need them to be in compliance. They just can't keep using something they're not licensed for. The challenge here is Oracle just keeps changing the rules, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
there's nothing preventing Oracle tomorrow from saying, if you have a license costs $10, to say a license costs $100. There's just nothing, right? They went from zero to a multi-billion-dollar uh, revenue stream with Java almost overnight. So I think that's the sort of that's what's when we see the percentage of clients who use Oracle Java versus alternatives, it's going down and down. The alternatives are gaining market share.
sure.
That's why, right? It's not because they don't like the product or that the other product is so much better. It's just the certainty or uncertainty of Oracle business practices. So it's good that you guys are supporting that. If you're worried about your Java position, reach out to us. We can help you understand that, and then make a move from there. Next question, and Lee has asked, have you charged back Oracle your fees for that audit? And we're trying. That's sort of why it isn't closed. So. But our fees are nowhere near what Oracle wanted. Let me tell you that. But one other question, and we can wrap up with this if you like, is what is the biggest challenge or hurdle for companies to move away from Oracle support, and that might cause them to pause or stay with Oracle support? So, Mark, what do you think is the biggest challenge you're seeing customers face?
But I think the biggest challenge is usually internal. It's usually that, it takes quite a decision for somebody at the board level to, and to be the champion to drive it forward. And there's lots of then people at the lower levels who will maybe give some negative aspects of, we can't stop using Oracle support because we need it for my Oracle support and their website and all their analysts and this and the other. And, what we provide is arguably a better service, but certainly at least as good a service. And so it really is the decision making internally, just to say, well, actually, no, I have got options and I can move. And the actual move itself isn't difficult. The process, we have a standard transition plan where we move the customer. It could be over a few weeks or at most a few months if they're really huge. And but the most customers, it's 2 to 4 weeks, I'd say, that we can get most of their transition work done, and then they can come and be supported by us. So I think the difficult thing is internally getting people's heads around that it really isn't risky, it really isn't difficult, and you really can save some money. Because I remember back in the day when we started, people wouldn't trust us because it would be like, how can you possibly save so much money, and how can you possibly deliver it for that price? And the reason we can deliver a good service for such a saving is because we're not investing in new software. We're not taking your money for your support and maintenance for your products that you're using, the legacy products, and investing it in our cloud products. We're just providing support, so we're able to do that at a much lower price point, and the customer gets exactly what they need. So I think the thing is just to understand that it's a lot easier than you might think. And we've been doing it now for whatever it is, 11, 12 years. So what we've seen in that time is a lot people getting a lot more used to the concept, the fact that back in the day we were educating people all the time. How can you do this? How's it possible? Why don't you charge so much? But these days it's more like, why not? Why don't I do third-party support? And there's some really big references and case studies and all those good things if you need some reassurance, and you can speak to customers that have already done it. But I think that's the challenge, is just for people to go, what, I think we can do that as well. But I guess that's how Oracle's made so much money for so many years. They've not really innovated in the software. They've tied people up in legal agreements. They've made it very difficult to leave. And so I think, what Palisade can offer is the reassurance to say, look, hang on, this is the way that you navigate through the legalities of it. And then we can help at the end of that process by just taking them on the new journey of a much better, easier support partner that won't audit them, that just will reduce charges over time, will help them on their journey, and allow them to use that money for innovation. So I think our services complement each other really well, and particularly for people who are worried about how Oracle will react, because I think having worked at Oracle for so many years, Craig, you've got a real insight into that.
I put my red Oracle hat on every day when I talk to customers. If I was your sales rep, here's what I would do to you. If I was your auditor, here's what I would do to you. Yeah, I think inertia is the biggest thing we see. Uncertainty. You've got that thing in your ear saying, and that thing is usually Oracle saying, don't do it. So I think getting over that and getting educated and talking to your clients is really key and important. And you mentioned the investing in the service. Let's not forget Oracle maintenance. They don't on their earnings, they don't have a separate line item anymore that says technical support. They used to. It used to be very easy to see license fees, cloud fees, support fees, consulting fees, hardware fees. Everything was nice. Now they've jumbled it all together. One day they'll break it apart. I'm sure when the cloud numbers are where they want, they'll break it apart again. But it's near impossible to look at Oracle's earnings now and say this is technical support. But when they did break it out, it was 95% margin. So
Yeah.
every dollar you gave Oracle, 95% went for something else. 5% of the money you give Oracle for maintenance goes into maintenance.
Yeah.
And Oracle was really proud of that. Like that is something, being there for many years. I remember the earnings announcements. We are really proud. It used to be 90% and it was 91. And look, we're driving up margins on maintenance. So, which means less and less is going back into the service for the client. I would, listen, I hope you have 95% margins, but I'm sure
So do I, but I'm sure we don't.
I would love to have 95% margins on any service, but okay. So we've got I think one last slide, Marissa, if you want to throw that up. Um, if Mark, it's been great talking with you today and learning about what you're seeing in the market and what clients are doing. I encourage everyone, if you think your Oracle support costs are too high, give Support Revolution a call. Reach out to them, and they will be able to show you a solution to not only lower your cost but provide better services than your legacy Oracle provider, and also help you, keep using the software you've already invested in, right? And keep your team focused on that, and some other solutions that you might be moving to. So, Mark, is there anything special about contacting you guys? Uh, is this information correct? And anything else you want people to know before we end it here?
Yeah, obviously that information is correct, Craig, and obviously there's our other offices in other locations if you wanted to go through those that are on the website. But inquiries at Support Revolution is a great one, and somebody will get back to you straight away. But so I'd just like to thank you, Craig, for having me along. It's been a blast. So thank you for that.
Thank you for joining. Always happy to talk to you and the Support Revolution team, and obviously anybody who is worried about their Oracle licensing or contracting or Java or database or whatever. Please reach out to us at Palisade, and we will be happy to help you. So thank you everybody who joined us today. Have a great day, and thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Craig.
Cheers.